Hey everyone, Creatively Cara here, and my channel is all about taking you along on my creative journey with me. Today we're going to be setting up the year 2020 in my new bullet journal. I'll be using the Vivid Scribbles journal, which I got for about $20 on Amazon. I think it's a less known brand, but it's got 140 GSM paper with 200 pages. It comes numbered pages, has a pocket, index, key, pen loop, and it's made of vegan leather. So I'm pretty excited to give it a try and see how things go. And the pages are white, which I don't know. I think I like that over the ivory pages. You may see my daughters popping in this video a little bit along with my cat Milo. I did a lot of my recording during the day, which is not quite usual for me, but I love seeing my 3.5-year-old journal and color with me. Makes me feel pretty good inside. I debated on doing a word of the year, but I kind of felt like it was something that I wanted to do. So I popped onto the Bullet Journal Junkies group on Facebook and looked at some posts on there, and I saw someone post the word meraki, and it's a Greek word. It stood out to me, so I thought I would look it up, and the meaning of it is doing something with soul, creativity, or love when you put something of yourself into what you're doing, whatever it may be. That kind of spoke really deep to me because I've really been struggling with my bullet journal a lot lately, and I'm probably going to be posting another video towards the end of the year. I'll flip through the last few months of my bullet journal, and honestly, it's a little sad, but I want to be able to share that with you so you can kind of just see that, you know, it's a realistic bullet journal and it's not perfect, and I do try my best, but I really want to truly utilize my bullet journal next year. I'm pretty excited with this new setup, so I can't wait to share it with you, but it's my goal to put a little meraki into my bullet journal this next year, so I thought the word was very fitting. I do keep my supplies to a minimum. I'd say this is a very minimal setup with a little bit of color accent. So I'm using my Faber-Castell here just to kind of darken the 2020, but I use my Papermate Flare or my Pigma Micron pen a lot to draw outlines. And I have my pink zebra mild liner that I use as my accent color. I don't normally choose pink, but since I bought this pink journal because it was the only color on sale during Black Friday, I thought I would do my accent color with the pink. So that's why I chose the color. No personal preference there. I use my Tombow N95 to add some shadows into this, but all of the items I used today, I will be linking in the description box down below if you want to go ahead and check those out. Do you like to have a word of the year for your bullet journal? Some people love this idea, others maybe not so much. So I'm really curious to see what all of you are doing. And if you do have a word of the year, what word are you using? Let me know in the comments below. Next up, I have my year at a glance. I think I do use this page, but really I think it's just aesthetically pleasing when it's next to my word of the year and like the year. It's kind of a pain to make, but I always just love how it looks in the end. So I am going to include that in this bullet journal setup. I basically just used my Tombow N95 to create some gray background in this, and then drew out all the calendars individually. Super fun. Oh yeah, here's my 1-year-old's hand. She's so cute. She had just woken up from a nap. So I will say that throughout this process of setting up my bullet journal, I did a lot of stopping and starting, just kind of the way things went. So hey, it happens. I decided to use my Papermate Flare to just do a little bit of cursive for the titles here. Oh, and then Zoe's coming to journal with me, and she had to have her green case of her markers and pencils. It kind of took up all the space, so I had to fight with her and make sure that got on the floor because it just took up all my room. When I set up my bullet journal, I like it to be cohesive, so I'm using the same accent colors and the same header for everything. The header I'm using is kind of that thick font with a cursive font over it, and I really like how that looks. Next up, we're going to be doing my future log, and I'm trying a different style this time around. Essentially, if you are familiar with Ryder Carroll's monthly setup, I kind of look at this as like mini monthly Ryder Carroll setups because it's just got this small column, but then it numbers it down 1 through 31 and then the days of the week. And then with that, I can kind of write in what's planned. Typically, there's only like one thing going on each day. This may end up not turning out how I wanted to, but we'll see. I thought it would be interesting to try. Now, I did mess up this page a little bit. I miscalculated the spaces, so the 2 in the middle were actually short, 1 dot. So I decided to write the numbers on the outside. Honestly, this entire 2020 bullet journal setup has a ton of mistakes. You'll probably see them throughout, but that's one of them. And I was going to try and like redo the page or something, I don't even know, but I decided to just go with it and write the numbers on the outside. Looks funny, but I think it'll still be functional. I am only including 6 months here because quite often that's how long the bullet journal lasts for me. I want to utilize it more, so I'm hoping that I will honestly only make it 6 months because I'm hoping to do like memory journaling and other things in the bullet journal. So that should fill it up pretty quickly, but we'll see what it ends up being. How many months can you typically fit in your bullet journal? I know a lot of the times it largely depends on how thick the bullet journal is or how you utilize it. You know, do you do dailies or weeklies? But let me know in the comments below what you guys do. Now, since I only did 6 months on that future log, I decided that I wanted to still have something set up for the other months in the year. So on this page, I kind of have just like a running future log. So on the left side, we have a column for July, August, September, October, November, December. And, you know, as something pops up, I'll write the number. And then on the line, I'll write, you know, what event, task, or appointment I need to get done on that day. I was struggling with my table setup, and I actually was using this like kids shelf with paper on top of it that looked like wood. Unfortunately, my 1-year-old decided to rip it, and I wasn't happy with it anyway, so I went out to Walmart and I purchased this small TV dinner table, if that's what you want to call it. I forget what they're actually called. And it had a nice wood look to it, so hey, I thought it would work, and we're switching to it for the rest of the video. The next item to set up in my bullet journal is going to be a social media tracker. It really is my goal to be able to focus on my Creatively Cara stuff a little bit more. I'm hoping to see my YouTube channel and Instagram, both of those honestly really grow the most, but I'm hoping to still utilize my Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter as well. It's really hard for me to keep up on all of those, but my 2 main social media platforms is YouTube and Instagram. If you aren't following me on my other social media sites, I highly recommend you go and follow me. Most of them are just at Creatively Cara. I think Facebook is the Creatively Cara because Creatively Cara was taken. So yeah, I'll have all of those linked down below if you want to check out my other social media sites. I wanted to add the pink accent here and there throughout the setup, so this one I kind of outlined it. I actually messed up on this page as well. It's kind of harder to tell, but the spacing, I ended up doing the spacing wrong when I was drawing it out with pen, so I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna squeeze it together, and then I added the pink outline box just to kind of help fill up the space. The next page we have is going to be for my goals. I want to have this kind of yearly setup for my goals, but then also focus on creating spreads on a monthly basis to create like action items for how I'm going to work on those goals. On this page, I'm going to kind of list my main goals, and I might include like a progress bar yet because I think that would be helpful, but I don't quite know how it'll all go out. But I will be focusing on my personal or family goals. I will focus on finance and then also Creatively Cara items. I don't have the exact goals figured out yet, but I have some ideas like really focusing on myself, self-care, as well as maybe spending more time with the kids doing family night games, as I have a 3-year-old who likes to play like board games or card games now, which is pretty fun. Finance, yep. I got a lot of school debt, not gonna lie, so I really want to start focusing on paying off that debt a little bit more with attention towards it. So we like to do the debt snowball technique. So we'll be doing that, but setting some of those goals will be great. And then Creatively Cara, again, kind of maybe in line with my social media stuff, but just making sure I'm being consistent. I love creating this stuff, and then it's super fun to be able to just share those creations with you because it's really awesome when I hear that someone was inspired by what I made or that I helped inspire them in some sort of way. I just think it's really awesome, and I want to keep that passion going for creativity and sharing that. So that's why, even though I fall behind, I still try to post some content for you, whether that be on YouTube or Instagram or wherever it ends up. I hope you guys enjoy these things. I did a year in pixels in my last bullet journal and did pretty well with it at the beginning of the year, but then fell off and was kind of sad because I loved the way it looked. So I thought I would give it a shot again for this bullet journal, and I'm really going to try and stick with it since my goal is to really focus on journaling more. Again, I've only included 7 months here, and I personally like to have about 2 boxes to work with so I can kind of do an AM mood and a PM mood, because sometimes, let's be honest, we have 2 moods during the day or more. I wanted to be able to emphasize that if, perhaps I did have a sad moment in my day, but other than that, it was pretty happy. Do you like to track your moods? Do you do it monthly, yearly, weekly? What's your kind of favorite on that? I like the yearly view because I think it provides a really great snapshot of how your moods went throughout the year. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you do for your mood. The next page I'm creating is my book list. I create one of these every year, and I'm really bad about reading books. I will say I think I read 2 or 3 books this year. I really hope it's 3. I can't remember now, but I'm bad at it. I read a lot of books with my kids, but I want to read more books for myself. And I saw this really cute idea on Pinterest. I'll link to it down below. But it was basically a library card that comes in like the back of your library book for when you check it out and return the book. So I think the inspiration I got from this was actually for renting library books, but I'm going to use this one just to keep track of it because I was kind of sick and tired of like the bookshelf thing. I wanted something a little bit different. So I'll be able to just track when I start the book, the title of it, and when I finish it, because I think that'll be kind of nice to be able to track how long it took me to read it. So I'm hoping to read more than 3 books this next year, but we'll see what ends up happening. Movies tracker, honestly, that one's really simple. I'm just hoping to maybe write down a list of movies that I hope to see throughout the year, but also to kind of like journal my movie ticket stubs because I like keeping those. I love going to the movie theaters. I was hoping to have a page to designate towards that. The next item to set up in my bullet journal is going to be a fitness journey page. It's going to take up 2 pages, yes, 2 pages. And it's going to be able to track weight loss and my measurements. On the right side at the top, we'll have before and after photos. And then I also kind of set some main goals that I wanted to have for myself. And I'll kind of be able to track those in the months as I do with my other goals. I also wanted to include a line spacing guide. While creating this, I realized how much I need a line spacing guide because I kept counting the spaces wrong. Oh my gosh, it took me way too long to do this. So I thought it would be helpful to have, because sometimes it's not fun to like calculate the spaces out every time. So I was hoping this page would be helpful. And as I mentioned, I have some financial goals. So I thought I would create a really simple goodbye debt tracker. So yeah, I like this setup a lot. Well, that is all I have for you today. I'm going to show you a quick flip through of everything I have in my bullet journal so far. Next up is getting January set up, so I hope to have my plan with me posted soon. But I hope you enjoyed what you saw today and maybe got some inspiration. If you did, just make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well, because I'd love to have you join me on this creative journey with me. Until next time, bye-bye.